Hello and welcome back to Home Studies e-learning for Advanced. Thanks for joining us. In this video, we'll take a look at Reading and Use of English Part 8, Multiple Matching. We'll look at what you're required to do in this part of the exam, and we'll give you some tips and strategies to help you locate specific information in a text. You'll do some practice exercises to help you improve your Part 8 performance. Remember, before you get started, print out the PDF handout of this unit so you can easily make notes and underline key information during the tasks. Or, if you don't have a printer, you can download it to a different device and use a highlight. So let's take a look at what you need to do in Part 8. In this last section of the exam, you'll be presented with either one long text divided into 4 to 6 parts, or 4 to 6 shorter texts. The task is exactly the same, whichever of these formats you encounter in the exam. There are 10 questions in Part 8. For each question or prompt, you need to match it to the correct text or to the correct section of text. In this part of the exam, each correct answer is worth 1 mark, so there are a total of 10 marks available. So what are you being examined on in the Part 8 task? Well, firstly, the exam tests your ability to find specific information or details in a long text. You need to be able to pick out the relevant information and identify which text or section of the text it comes from. This task also tests 2 different kinds of reading skills. Firstly, you're being tested on your ability to read quickly to understand the gist. That means reading something quickly to get the general idea without worrying about every word. And secondly, you're being tested on whether you can read carefully to understand the precise meaning of something. So, making sure that the meaning of the prompt and the relevant part of the text match. So now we've looked at what you need to do and what you're being tested on. But how should you approach Part 8? Well, firstly, make sure you read the prompts before you read the text. When you're reading the prompts, underline or highlight the key words and ideas. On the question paper, the questions or prompts are always printed before the text, so it's in a logical order. Next, don't read the whole text first. The text, or sometimes texts, is long and contains quite a lot of superfluous information that you won't need to answer the questions. So you don't want to waste time. Instead, focus on the questions. Next, look for a paraphrase of the whole prompt, not just one part of it. Learn to ignore ideas in other sections that may look similar, but don't reflect the whole of the question. When you think you've found the paraphrase, you'll need to read it very carefully to make sure the relevant piece of text exactly matches the meaning of the question. Finally, don't pick an answer just because you find the same words in the question and the text. The questions usually use different words to communicate the ideas in the text. So if you find identical words in the question and the texts, it doesn't mean you found the right answer. In fact, it's probably a trap. Okay, let's try a task now. In the first part of this task, you're going to scan the text quickly to see what it's about. Press pause, give yourself 10 seconds, then press play to continue on to the second part of the text. Now for the second part of Task 1. Give yourself 1 minute to read the text again, this time searching for the answers to these questions. Note that the answers to the questions don't appear in the same order in the text. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to check the answers. Now it's time to check your answers. Did you manage to find all the answers in just 1 minute? Now that we've practiced reading for gist and reading for information, it's time to try another practice task. But before you begin, let me explain what you need to do. Over the next 3 pages, you're going to look at some extracts of people talking about their jobs. You need to scan each text to find 2 particular pieces of information, rather than reading them in detail. Okay, let's begin. Remember, just scan the text quickly. Don't take the time to read it carefully. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to the next question. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to the next question. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, pause the video while you check your answers. Did you find all 6 phrases? Now let's talk about the best strategy for approaching part 8. The first thing to do is to read through the prompts. Select the key information in each one and underline or highlight it. The best way to approach part 8 is to go through the text paragraph by paragraph, instead of question by question. One of the biggest mistakes that candidates make in this part of the exam is trying to complete the task question by question. This means they look at the first prompt and go through the whole text until they find the part that corresponds with the question. Then they repeat the same process for all the other questions. The problem with this approach is that it takes a lot of time, and it means you could read the text 7, 8, 9, or even 10 times before you've answered every single question. So, instead of doing this, start with text A and read through it carefully. Look for phrases which match any of the prompts. If you've already underlined the key words from the prompts, then this will make your life easier. Once you've read through text A, start on text B. Then repeat the same strategy for each of the texts. Hopefully, by the time you've read all of them, you'll have found most of the answers. You might need to go back and search again for a couple of the final answers. Now let's look at the instructions for a typical Part 8 exam question. You're going to do this practice task in a moment. You're going to read some reviews of festivals in the UK. The questions are numbered 47 to 56. For each question, choose from the reviews A to F. Each review can be chosen more than once. To do this task more easily, print out the reading handout so that you can write on it. First of all, read the first 5 prompts. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to the rest of the prompts. Now read the rest of the prompts. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to reading the texts. Here is text A. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to text B. Here is text B. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to text C. Here is text C. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to text D. Here is text D. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to text E. Here is text E. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on to text F. Here is text F. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, let's check your answers now. Question 47, a cheap way to do an activity. The answer is D. In Liverpool, you'll receive a discount on water sports lessons. Question 48, an event opened by young people. The answer is A. The Brighton Festival kicks off or begins with a children's parade. Question 49, art reflecting life. The answer is E. The London Art Exhibition offers insights into the young artists' lives. Question 50. Watching a film in the fresh air. The answer is C. An open-air cinema is one where you sit outside. Question 51. Watching professionals fight. The answer is D. This refers to the unarmed combat displays by the Royal Marines. Question 52. The chance to make a long-term investment. The answer is A. This refers to the possibility of buying a work of art from recent graduates. Question 53. Someone who did quite well in a competition. The answer is F. The Mercury Music Prize is a music award. Question 54. Spending time with contemporary literary celebrities. The answer is B. You can go to a storytelling afternoon with some of Britain's leading authors. Question 55. Music in a religious building. The answer is E. There's the concert in St. Paul's Cathedral. And finally, question 56. People pretending to be dolls. The answer is B. This refers to the human mannequin window displays. And that brings us to the end of Reading and Use of English Part 8, Multiple Matching. Thanks for taking the time to watch this series of videos. I hope they've been really useful and you feel more prepared to take on the advanced exam now. Before I leave you, I just want to give you one final tip. Step out of your comfort zone and try to read a wide variety of texts related to different topics. The Reading and Use of English exam covers a variety of topics, so it can help you to perform better if you read a wide variety of texts in English. So, for example, novels, short stories, magazines and newspapers, as well as academic texts. As well as being an interesting read, this will also help you to build a range of formal and informal vocabulary related to different topics. So, thanks once again for watching, and remember to do the practice activities and quizzes in this module to consolidate the techniques you've just learnt. Good luck with the Reading and Use of English paper.